Welcome to Van Life with Steve, and thank you so much for joining me for a visit to the world-famous Bonneville Salt Flats in northwestern Utah. So I had planned to do another day or two at Arches, but because it was so hot there, and again, I'm from Florida, I take pride in taking the heat. I was forged in heat and humidity. I can handle heat, no problem. However, it didn't make much sense to stay there when it meant better weather up north, and the longer I stayed down there, then you could have colder weather, which I'm a total wimp about, farther north in places like Grand Teton, Yellowstone, and Glacier. So I decided I'd go ahead and head north and then come back to Utah in the fall where it was cooler. And I had decided to head towards Craters of the Moon. So I believe the origin of the word Utah means something to the effect of people from the mountains or the ones from high above or something like that. And driving through Utah, wow, there were a lot of mountains to drive through, and definitely the state is named appropriately. So I made it to the Salt Flats, and I'd seen it in so many movies, so of course I had to stop. And it's actually just a rest stop off I-80. If you're heading west, the rest stop, you can directly access the dunes. If you're heading east, you can only get an observation platform. And I think if you're heading east, the exit where you can turn around, although I do see where people cut through, where they're not supposed to, is several miles out of the way. However, heading west, there is an exit that's just 5-6 miles down the road. So here we're at the Salt Flats, and it was kind of an incredible thing to see in person. I'd seen it in so many movies like Independence Day or The World's Fastest Indian, or I believe even Pirates of the Caribbean has shot scenes here. And the ground is so flat, you kind of struggle to judge how far away things are. Now I arrived here close to the evening, and so the sun set pretty fast, and there wasn't an opportunity to get any great sunset photos because of the clouds. So I overnighted at the rest stop right there at the Salt Flats and got up early the next morning, although I wasn't able to get the kind of sunrise photography I wanted. Now you see me walking on the Salt Flats, which are about 12 miles long and 5 miles wide, and the actual salt it varies between 5 feet deep in the center portion of the Salt Flats to where it's just inches deep there at the edges. And in the distance, you see the Silver Island Mountains, and then behind those are the Pilot Range, and the highest mountain there, I believe, is Pilot Peak. But as I mentioned, I'm walking on the Salt Flats and not driving because it's not a good idea to drive your vehicle on the flats because of corrosion. The salt was going to make the undercarriage of your car rust. And I know let me just say, I hope everybody that drove their vehicle on the Salt Flats went immediately to get their undercarriage washed, but with my van, I'm not taking that risk. So no way was I ever going to drive my van on that salt flat. If you're enjoying this content, I'd appreciate it so much if you give me a like. Please subscribe if you want to see more videos. I went to 26 national parks and a bunch of other places, and I have a ton of great content coming that you don't want to miss. And please turn on the bell for notifications. Thank you so much, and let's continue with the video. But here you can see some people that have shown up, and from these clips right here, I would see people drive, and the ground is so flat that you had a hard time judging distances, and you would see people drive and you think, oh well, they'll be here in like a minute, and it would actually take them several minutes to drive back because it's just actually a lot farther than what you would normally expect. Yeah, maybe I should have found a way to go hang out with these guys because it looks like they're having a cool party, but that was a really long walk and I wasn't going to do it. Here's another look at the Silver Island Mountains, which makes it for a pretty kind of dramatic backdrop. That was actually not the Bonneville Speedway. So I drove out and got off the exit that's a few miles west of the rest stop to go see the actual Speedway, which was flooded. And I really should have done sunrise here because I really could have got some really good pictures of the sun. You can see the water there kind of creates a reflection, and it kind of turns the salt flats into almost like a mirror. But seeing the salt flats flooded, this is just a really cool sight. So the Bonneville Salt Flats are named after a U.S. Army explorer named Benjamin Bonneville, and he explored a lot in the Intermountain West in the 1830s. And the Speedway, of course, is the site of many land speed world records. Gary Gabelich famously set a land speed record of 630 miles an hour on the Blue Flame. However, that has since been broken. There's a desert up in Nevada where they do a lot of that stuff now. So that was just a quick stop. It was time to continue on into Idaho, and I decided to make a quick stop at Shoshone Falls, which they refer to as the Niagara of the West. And it was just a quick stop, so we'll just take a quick peek of the waterfall and look at the amazing Snake River Canyon that Evel Knievel, he tried to do his rocket jump over, and I didn't have a time to go check that out, so I continue forward across the Snake River Canyon and passed through Twin Falls and headed on to the next adventure, which is going to be an interesting one. I want to thank you so much for joining me, and I will catch you in the next video. Thanks and take care. Bye.